Hi, hello, and welcome to Rebel Unicorn Crafts. Today we're going to be doing a simple sunset mountain watercolor painting. For this tutorial, the supplies you're going to need are 140-pound watercolor paper. You're going to want a small sheet plus a test strip, backing board or something hard like cardboard, masking tape, 2 water containers, a pipette, watercolor brush. I recommend size 8, 10, or 12, optionally a flat brush, some watercolors, a palette, as well as a rag or a paper towel. In case this is your first time doing watercolor or you're new to it, the general setup we want to do is take whatever hand you are and put all of your wet supplies on that side. So I am right-handed, so that means my paper towel, my brushes, my pipette, my water, and my palettes are all gonna be on the right side. This is gonna reduce our chances of dripping on our painting. Then you're going to want to firmly press down and really seal this piece of paper that we're going to be working on to our hard backing board. I recommend using smaller sizes when you're getting started. You're going to have a better chance for success, and it's going to encourage you to keep going. If you go with a huge piece of paper, you're going to have a better chance of making mistakes. My piece is about 4 by 5 inches. In order to get started, we need to mix up our colors. I like to be prepared and have all my colors mixed first. I'm going to be personally mixing a blue, kind of a pinky red, an orange, and a yellow because those are the sunset colors I like. Feel free to do whatever colors you'd like. This is where your test strip of paper is going to come in really handy, is testing these colors because they always look way different in the palette. If you want to mute a blue, use something either brown or on the opposite side of the color wheel. I'm using kind of a burnt sienna to kind of tone this blue down. I'll speed up the mixing of the rest of my colors because I'm pretty much going to use the colors as they are, maybe a little mixing together, but I'm going to be testing, and whatever colors you come up with, you're going to want them to be about the same opacity as mine, or maybe a little more pigmented. I did mine in a way where I could really build my colors layer after layer, so that it was a little more subtle. But if you want to go a little bolder, you can mix them up a little bit with a little more opacity to them. But if you want to be safe, do them at the same opacity as I am. If you did my previous mountain silhouette watercolor, we did wet on dry paper, but today we're going to be working with wet on wet. So since you really only have to have one brush, you can either do a just wash of water across your entire page with your brush that you're using. I will show you how I do that, and it's similar to how I do my washes, where you go line by line and pull that water down, adding a little more. Or if you have a flat brush at your disposal, then you can go ahead and just dip that in and brush that over the entire page. What we're doing is we're going to saturate this page with water. We don't want there to be standing water, but we do want it to be saturated with water. And the way you're going to know if it's right now, see how shiny and glossy that is? We want that, but there's no running water, but we want it to soak in a little bit and become a little bit matte. So I might have actually started this one a little bit too soon, so you might want to wait for just a second until it starts to soak in. This is going to differ for you based on what humidity levels you have where you live and your different supplies. So check that sheen. You want it to be glossy but starting to matte and really being able to see the texture of the paper underneath it. Then we're going to go with our darkest colors. Typically, sunsets are kind of a darker color at the top. You know, I'm thinking like the dark blue that's coming in from, the dusk time. And then I'm going to do a gradient from this kind of red down all the way, pulling that. Now, with the wet on wet technique, we can be a little looser and not so perfect because our paper is already wet. So it's going to kind of blend in and seep in together. But we want to get this kind of background gradient going in general where our colors are going to be. Remember that you don't want water sitting at the bottom of your painting, so if you have a little pool, you want to go ahead and dry your brush off and soak it up like I did. Wait until this has started to dry. Again, you'll see, yes, I've got some glisten, but it's a little more matte. And then I want to block in some kind of pinky clouds, and I'm just going to just put that color down there and just kind of go for it. I want my clouds to be coming in from a few different directions. And sunsets, typically, the pigment is going to be darker. The shadows are on the top. So sometimes I'll come back in and touch the tops of those clouds with just a little bit more of that blue. And our first layer, if you did similar opacities to me, is going to be very, very subtle. But just wait. You don't want your water to be completely running all over the place, so make sure that you have the right kind of soaking in of the water into the page, where when you touch the pigment onto the page, it dissipates but does not run. And this is where your intuition about the sunset is going to really come in handy. Just go ahead and go back and forth on this layer until you have kind of the general areas of color you want. I recommend having a yellow at the bottom, some sort of bright pink or orange for the clouds, and re-emphasizing the shadows at the tops of the clouds. Then we're going to want to let this completely dry before we start our second layer. For drying, you can either walk away and wait for a bit, or you can force it with a hairdryer once there is no standing water on it. Then you're going to make any adjustments that you think are necessary to your colors. Adjusting your colors is completely optional. I personally wanted a bit more pinky and purpley colors in my red. I didn't think it was pigmented enough, so I did go ahead and make those adjustments. If you feel that you need to for your next layers, go ahead and do that. After adjusting, re-wet your page. Having the right amount of moisture on your paper is the hardest part of this. I'm trying to show with kind of the sheen how it's real shiny and then it starts to mattify, and that's when we want to go in with our actual pigments. And I started my second layer by doing a gradient just straight of the blue down using clear water at the bottom, and then re-emphasizing with my brighter colors where I wanted those pinky clouds to be, touching dark parts to the top and highlighting even further with oranges and yellows at the bottom. You can repeat this step as many times as you'd like. I could have stopped here. I decided I wanted one more layer, so I went ahead and after I finished this layer, I let that dry and I went in again. I will show you the final layer sped up. It's up to you how many layers you do. You might need less, you might need more. Depends on what colors and the look you're going for and how much kind of concentration you want on this. So go ahead and finish that. We'll let it dry and we'll move on to adding our foreground mountains after this has dried. If you've watched my previous video with the mountain silhouettes, you'll be familiar with this technique, but we do need a dry page, and then we want to mix up a dark complementary color to our sky color. I wanted kind of a dark muted purple color that was pretty opaque, and so I went back and forth adding Bordeaux and cobalt blue as well as some of that burnt sienna until I got my darkest color, because we're going to want to have these colors kind of pre-mixed. We're going to be doing 2 layers of mountains, so we want to mix our darkest one and then use that to make our lighter version of the mountain color. We do that by adding some water to a near pot in our palette and then directly transferring the dark pigment to that so that we have a more opaque version of our first one. Then you will draw your mountains. Make sure that you are using a kind of a loose brush hold and keep it kind of irregular. Soak up any excess water you have at the bottom with a dry brush before letting this layer dry. Once it's dry, we're going to come in with our second layer of mountains. Mountains that are further away in the distance are going to be more translucent, and ones that are closer in the foreground are going to be both lower than that previous one, as well as a more opaque and darker color. So go ahead and use that darkest color that you mixed up to make some low mountains and soak up any excess water. My tips for adding your mountains are to play off what your sky is doing. So cover areas that are boring and make there be dips in the mountains in areas that are really interesting. Once that last mountain layer is dry, you can add more if you'd like. If not, you're done. When you remove the tape, remember to use a hairdryer or some sort of heat source that won't catch things on fire to release the adhesive in the tape so that you don't rip your paper and you get those nice clean lines. And with that, we have a really beautiful sunset mountainscape. I hope this was helpful. Please let me know if it was in the comments below. If you'd like more videos like this, please subscribe, and I hope that you have a magically creative day.